Hey guys, I am Chris Gaylor.
And I'm Amber Foster, Kajin Cosplay, and today we are back again, guys, with Demon Slayer. The finale, basically, so episode 26.
Finale of season 1, because season 2 is coming soon. I think we're almost just in time for season 2, so that's pretty cool. We got great timing. You know, all those times when we jump weeks and we don't, upload videos and stuff because we need to take breaks to catch up with stuff. It's all calculated. No, but seriously. So last episode was about training again. We got Tanjiro who managed to, push Zenitsu and Inosuke to train too.
that freaking jar.
He destroyed that jar, and
nice.
he's well on his way to becoming more stronger than he already is. So that's pretty cool. He's been told by Shinobu that he's clear to do missions again, so that's fine. Nezuko is still sleeping, so we'll see if she joins the group when they go out. Maybe this episode. We introduce maybe what is, gonna be the movie, so we'll see if they do more of that this episode, but we saw a train, we saw a huge demon, and we know that Rengoku is going over there. So we also learned that his flame breathing is different to fire breathing, so we don't know how...
What's the difference?
Yeah.
What is fire breathing?
Yes, and we learned about
Kanao.
Canoe.
No,
Canoe. It's canoe in
What?
French. And yeah, Kanao's past. It's just as tragic as Shinobu.
Everybody got a tragic past in that series. Come on.
Shinobu used to be so different, and Kanao just is a shell of who she used to be. And she's learning to, she's healing little by little, so maybe we get to see that healing process. It's gonna be great. But yeah, our boys were training last episode, so hopefully now we get to go on a mission. So let's jump in this episode and see what happens. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you want to see more of these episodes.
Yeah, click on the bell to not miss it, okay?
Yes, let's go.
Let's watch it.
Okay, so good episode. They managed to hype up the movie a lot. And yeah, like, if anyone doesn't watch the movie and starts season 2 without watching it, they'll be fucking lost.
Do you know about any other type of series that use movie as a canon part of the story? Because I know, for example, with Zero,
The movie is canon.
The movie is canon, but if you don't watch it, you won't be lost.
Yeah.
You know?
Naruto kind of does, canon movies, but then they did it with Boruto, and then they redid the movie in the show too. So
yeah,
that's...
but I've seen Naruto's series and episode, but I wouldn't be lost.
No.
If I didn't watch the movie.
I'm talking about later on, like, so with Boruto, Naruto the movie. The movie is canon, but they took the events of the movie and they did it in the show too. So if you don't watch the movie, you're fine with the story. So I don't know, like, Blue Exorcist also did movies, and I think they're canon, but I think it's the only example I know of off the top of my head that did movies canon that are not going to be in the show. At least I don't think they're going to be in the show. But yeah, it still makes me very excited. The hype is there. This guy, they said he was the first of the weakest. But does that mean he's the weakest or the strongest of the weakest? I don't know which first he's supposed to be.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Well, okay, like the one Rui. Gosh, my pronunciation.
Yeah.
Rui was the 5th one, and he was strong. And but he said he was one of the lower demons. But does that mean he was?
But is one of the winning?
The lowest.
It's one of the winning.
The lowest 6.
Blood demon. Yeah.
The lowest 6. And now they don't exist anymore. So,
well, there's one left, but that one is super jacked up by Mugen's blood. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So no matter how he was before, he is fucked up now, and he's got a bunch of blood from Kibutsuji. So he's gonna, who knows how he's gonna be in that movie. And he's got stakes, riding on this mission, because if he succeeds and kills Rengoku and Tanjiro, he's gonna get more blood. So, and he seems to be adoring that shit.
he is very motivated by his mission
Yes.
too.
So it's gonna be dangerous. Rengoku seems pretty confident with that smile again. He's just driving that train. Let's go. Speaking of that train, I keep forgetting that Tanjiro is naive as fuck too. When I was, when he met Inosuke.
He live in the mountains and
Yes.
in the countryside.
But when he met Inosuke, I was saying, oh, maybe it's like he's doing some reverse psychology and he's saying stuff for Inosuke to fall in line and stuff like that. And then
Well,
people were saying,
that-
no, he probably just didn't know. And I'm like, it's the same here. I was thinking, oh, he's playing into Inosuke's game, so he falls in line. But then no, he actually he didn't know what a train was. So that was funny. And it fits and it makes them it makes them closer, and you have Zenitsu there to explain the stuff, so that was different.
Well, it does make you think about, because we've seen technically that related to new technology, because the older generation were introduced to them and we were born into it basically.
Well, when he was in
But-
Tokyo, when he met Kibutsuji for the first time,
but
he was
he was in a
really out of his element. Like
out of his element, but there weren't any new technology per se.
we're still in a moment in history where you had people who did not know, did not have electricity and did not have running water, and they lived like they were in a medieval times, and then you would walk a few miles and stuff, go into the city, and then stuff would be so different. The clothing style is different, the way of life is different. So yeah, the huge shock would be there, like I don't know how I would feel if I could go somewhere and well, we can do it backwards actually. We could go somewhere and go back to those days, because there are still places around on Earth who don't have running electricity, running water and stuff, like, so you can do it backwards, but doing it forward must be a shock too.
Well, it is a shock if we compare to what we went through. We didn't know about cars who can drive themselves, turn for
Well, yeah, but
themselves.
that's just-
those are new technology, and we are introduced to that. So, for example,
No, I know. It's
the future kids, for them that will be normal. But
It's
for
the
us,
same
it's
conversation we had for Samurai Champloo. It's change is part of history and stuff. It's just that in this case it's a little different because we grew up with change. It's not that he didn't grow up with change or anything. It's just that he stayed in his is in his house in the mountains, cut off from society, and Inosuke stayed in the mountain, cut off from society too. So it's not so much that
new.
they
You mean cut off from humankind? That's
so
different.
even our parents, they live that change too. It's not like you live a certain way and then you wake up the other day, or you go into town the other day and stuff is so much different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the difference is cute in this show though. Like, it's not like Samurai Champloo, who used that change to make a statement and make a storyline for the characters. And this is just funny because it's part of their personalities and it's part of their naivete that they don't really understand how stuff works. And you've got Kibutsuji, who seemingly adapts very well. Like, that's interesting in this show, though. You have characters who live much longer than humans, and they, it's part of being immortal. Like, if you've seen Interview with a Vampire, it's always at the center of a character arc in those type of stories, because when you're immortal, you have to learn how to adapt. Otherwise, you will be stuck in your own time and you won't understand anything about what's going on around you. So you got Kibutsuji, who's basically immortal and has gone through change, and he seems to be adapting very well, changing himself.
And all the way in forms.
Well, I mean, he got himself a family, he got himself a style last time we saw him, and then he changes his appearance, and he just changes. And he seems to be fine with this, so I think it goes to show that he's got a character strength, when it comes to mental strength, and just he's got good skills when it comes to changing his way of life, which is why I think he's managed to survive this long.
Which means that will be difficult to
Hide this long, too, sorry.
Which again means it will be difficult to defeat him at the end.
Well,
Because
find
he's good
him
at
first.
adapting.
Well, in combat, it could, make or break the fight, but that's probably why it's been so hard to find him in the first place, because he's good at hiding in society. It's not like he stands out like a demon slayer with his sword hanging out and stuff. So,
True.
yeah.
But I did said something when he was saying to the lower demons that what his words are right. So he's always right. His words are law. But hearing that, I'm just thinking that's the main reason why you will lose at the end. Because if you never put in question your way of life, what you're doing, you will never improve. You will never progress,
Yeah.
and at the end you will lose.
He sees himself as the strongest, and then he closes. That's the thing.
We've
It's
seen
ironic.
that with Inosuke, you know.
It's ironic though, because for a guy who seems to be adapting through time that well, to not adapt his fighting style because he believes he's the strongest, so he's not open to learning from people. Yes, that would be ironic.
Which
that
I
would
mean,
be really funny.
from what we saw, he is pretty strong. Like he
Yes.
is really, really strong.
Doesn't mean he's the strongest.
But-
he seemed pretty scared of that guy in the flashback. That guy that looked like Tanjiro.
The funny rings.
Yes, he seemed pretty scared of that guy.
Yeah.
And he seemed to be about to be defeated by that guy, so...
But we've talked so many times about Inosuke that, Inosuke is so proud of himself, he thinks that he's the strongest, but he got reality check, he's not, and he needs to improve himself. And on the side, you got Tanjiro, who's always trying to do better, go longer, go faster, and he's gonna be better at the end, you know?
Kibuchichi won't have that chance, though.
I don't want for him to go on that path, though.
No,
He needs
no.
to be defeated at the end.
Well, that could be his downfall. But then, like I said, it would be ironic, considering everything else about him seems to
But
change.
that's the thing. He's okay to adapt to his surrounding, but not himself. That's two different things, you know?
No, he's okay to adapt himself to his surroundings to blend in better, but because he's afraid of death, like that's one thing. Like he is afraid of dying, and it's not. I think whenever he's facing his demons, the what everything he did in this episode, it's a mask basically. He needs to look like this in order to have them be scared of him.
What I meant is he's okay to adapt his appearance to blend in with the society to survive, but has a character is himself.
No, we don't see him change
He don't
his
want
strength
to
or
change.
anything.
He
He
don't want to
doesn't
change
learn.
because he think that he's right in every way.
But what I see is mostly a guy who's very strong, but who would rather make demons into weapons that would go and fight for him and stop the people. Because if the Ashira were that much of a threat, he could go out and kill them. But he doesn't want to die. He's afraid of dying, so he won't do it himself. And then you've got, he's got 12 Kizuki, but then one of them dies, and no one's, the others don't seem to want to become stronger
You know
anymore.
what? It reminds me of what the Ashira used to say about the other Demon Slayers. Oh, the quality of Demon Slayers, they went down low, and they're not strong enough, they're just weak, they don't know what they're doing. It's the same thing with Kitsuji and his demons.
Yes, very true, because like the Ashira are the ones fighting, but they exist, they're there, and the demons are afraid of them. So instead of becoming stronger and fighting the Ashiras, they'd rather run. And it made sense when Kibuchichi was saying, like, are you more afraid of the Ashira than you're afraid of me? Which is a problem, because if they start fearing the Ashira more, they could turn on him and start disobeying him and stuff like that. And considering he'd rather have all his weapons to send them against the ones who could kill him, it's a problem. So I feel like he needs to look like this. He needs to act like this with his demons, because they need to fear him. If they fear him more than they fear the Ashira, that's when they're going to go after, the Ashiras. Because if they don't, Kibuchichi's going to be doing this shit. So, in this episode, he got rid of the lower 5. And we'll see if I don't think he intends to replace them, but we'll see. Well, what it tells me is that if Tanjiro goes against a Kizuki now, it's going to be one of the higher 6, and that's not a good idea.
Which would be a great challenge. But you know what? I just kept thinking about it, but no wonder that the Ashiras doesn't know what Kibutsuji looks like.
Well,
he
he
can change
changes.
his appearance that much.
That's what I've been saying.
Even his aura changed. So do you think that maybe Tanjiro's going to be able to remember his scent? Is he able to change his scent?
I don't know if you can change your scent like this, like at that much. Like Tanjiro's sense of smell can get your emotions. I don't think you can change that much, but we'll see. That's exactly what I said though. Like he's good at adapting to his surroundings. That's why it's hard to find him. That's why we need him to come to us. somehow.
It must be so good playing hide and seek, you know.
Anyway, so once again, good episode. I love the Kanae. Gosh, her name. Kano. Anyway, what happened
Canoe.
with her this episode?
Love Canoe.
Canoe. I really loved what happened, and I loved what Tanjiro said because it's basically what he's been trying to tell her. You know, how he would flip the coin over and over again until he got the answer he wanted, because that's what he's been saying. You don't have to follow the coin. You get to follow what you want, you know, deep down. So that's what he proved her. Like, I'm not going to accept what the coin says. I want you to follow your heart, so I will flip the coin till I get the answer I want. And it's kind of illuminating, you know, to her, who's been following orders her entire life, and yet still follows the orders of the coin. You know, she doesn't, even if she wants to do something, she won't allow herself to do it because of the coin. But now that Tanjiro has managed to flip it,
She might
We
start
got
to do it now.
we got an opportunity. We even got more emotions out of her this episode than all the other episodes combined. And speaking of, I'm wondering what this guy is doing around here. What is he doing here? The other guy
Yeah.
from this election.
Me too.
He appeared like at this election, and then we were wondering, oh, I'm excited to meet these characters and stuff, and we did not see him the entire season. So, is he linked to one of the Ashiras too?
Maybe. He got jacked up.
But he was
pretty
in
fast.
Shinobu's house, so
Yeah.
like, what is he doing here?
Maybe he was wounded and he was healing.
Oh,
Who
maybe.
knows?
I he was dead set on just going out and killing demons. So, yeah, I think he might be one of the examples of, you know, what Shinobu and even Gyu were saying. You know, demon slayers exist to kill demons, and they are. Shinobu was saying like pretty much all demon slayers are probably filled with this rage when it comes to killing demons. I think he's a great example of that, from what we saw of him.
You think?
Anyway, he looks pissed. But he's got an attitude problem, so we need to deal with that after the movie.
Yeah.
So that's it for season 1 of Demon Slayer. I'm.
You know what? It looks to me like they really, really want to introduce the movie, because that didn't really feel like a finale to me, you know?
To me, it felt like a finale. Like them leaving on a train, going towards another mission, and every time they do this, you know, with the opening playing as you have the credits, and still you have scenes going on and stuff, it feels like an important finale.
No, I know, but compared to other type of series, that for me didn't really feel like a finale, because we know that the finale of season 1 will technically be the movie, if you think about it.
Well, yes. I see this as the beginning of another chapter. And that could be seen as an open door finale.
Open ending.
Open ending, yeah. So it makes me excited for the movie, and it makes me excited for season 2. And I mean, I knew before we watched this that I was gonna like this show, and I was not disappointed. So I'm ready to see more of it.
All right.
So thank you guys so much for watching this with us. If you want to see our reaction to the movie, I cannot say for sure that it's going to be on Patreon right away. But check it out. It's going to be there before it's on YouTube. Or at least like the full reaction is going to be there. So even if they come out on the same day.
And if you don't, well, click on that notification bell to see when it's going to come out on YouTube, guys.
Well, yeah. And we'll see you later with more Demon Slayer.
See ya.
Bye.